Okie dokie. So today we're going to be working on dividing fractions by fractions and also dividing fractions by whole numbers. And we're going to use the same method we used previously, and that is keep, change, flip. But we're going to start off with a little bit of a model here. So because it's always good to think about the models because sometimes they help us understand why keep, change, flip works. So this one says 1/2 divided by 1/3, right in simplest form. So actually to use a model, what we'd have to do is change these so they have the same denominator. So it's the first thing we'd have to do. 2 and 3, their least common multiple is 6. So if we change them both to sixths, then we can use the model. So 1/2 would be 3/6 divided by 1/3 would be 2/6. And now we're going to use this to help us make the model. So I'm going to draw out a little bar here. We're going to start out with 3/6. First I have to divide the bar into 6, so that means 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're only using 3/6, so I'm going to cross out 3, so we're only left with 3. And I'm going to circle groups of 2/6. See how many groups we can make. Well, we can really only make one full group. And then at the end, we have a half a group, 1/2. Because this is 1 out of 2. You need 2 to make a group. We only have 1 left. So the answer to this would be 1 1/2. And that's it. That's using the model. But we're going to use the equation here. We're going to use keep, change, flip. And hopefully we get the same answer with the same numbers. So we're going to do 1/2 divided by 1/3. We're going to keep, change, flip. Keep the first number. Change division to multiplication. And we're going to use the reciprocal. We're going to flip that fraction. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. Now we can't stop there because that's improper. We have to change that into a mixed number. 2 goes into 3 once. And to get from 2 to 3, there'd be 1 left over out of 2. So it is 1 1/2. So again, this way is more efficient, but doing the model sometimes helps just to understand why it worked out like that. So we're going to keep going here, and we're going to be using keep, change, flip. And we're going to kind of set it up the same way every single time. So we'll start off here with 1/4, divided by 3/8. I'm just going to zoom in here. So we have 1/4 divided by 3/8. And we're going to keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep the first fraction. Almost messed up on the keep, which is the easiest part. We're going to change the division to multiplication. And we're going to flip 3/8. It's going to become 8/3. 8/3. All right, now before we multiply, I'm going to look diagonally to see if there's any simplifying we can do. 1 and 3, you can't simplify, but 4 and 8, what can you divide both 4 and 8 by? You can divide them both by 4. Now, you can divide them both by 2, but if you divide them by 2, you'll have to simplify again. So we're just going to divide by 4, which is the GCF of 4 and 8. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. That's the only simplifying we can do. Now we multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. 2/3. 2/3. Feeling pretty good about that one. Again, I would always look to simplify. Because if we didn't simplify, we wind up with 8/12, and then we'd have to simplify anyway. So might as well do it before you multiply. All right, let's try this one. 2/3. It's always good to rewrite it. Divided by 3/8. It'll help set you up. We're going to keep, change, flip. Keep the 2/3, change division to multiplication, flip 3/8 to 8/3. Okay, now we can only simplify when we multiply. So that's why I'm looking here. I don't think there's anything we can do here. There's no simplifying we can do. So we're just going to multiply. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 3 is 9. All right, well, we can't leave it like that. That's improper. 9 goes into 16 once. And then there'd be 7 left over out of 9. If you can check that by kind of doing the opposite. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 7 is 16. So you probably did that in 5th grade. We're going to do that a few more times this year, but you can check the mixed number and the improper fraction by kind of going in this little loop here, little swoop. All right, 1 7/9. We're going to do a couple more here. 5/6 divided by 1/3. All right. 5/6 divided by 1/3. We're going to keep, change, flip. Okay. So we'll keep the first fraction, change division to multiplication. We're going to flip that fraction to 3 over 1. All right, let's look diagonally. 5 and 1, nothing we can do there. 6 and 3. We can divide those both by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Now we've simplified it. Perfect. 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. Now that's improper, so we have to change that to a mixed number. 2 goes into 5 twice. And then 2 times 2 is 4, so you need 1 more to get to 5 out of 2. 2.5. 2.5. Okie dokie. Let's keep going. Let's try another one here. We got 3/4 divided by 1/8. We're going to set this up, solve it the same way. We're going to keep, we're going to change, we're going to flip. Now, I would always recommend writing these. I would urge you to write these because this will help set you up. It will help you remember what to do for each step. Because you'd be surprised how many times I see like a keep, or a keep change, or a keep, or a flip, keep change, or I'm sorry, a flip, change, keep. Yeah. See, even I get mixed up thinking about it. So it's good to write KCF, keep, change, flip, because it'll keep you doing the right steps for each part of the problem. We're going to change division to multiplication. We'll flip that fraction. Reciprocal, 8 over 1. All right, let's look diagonally. 3 and 1, nothing. 8 and 4, there we go. We can divide those both by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 3 times 2, 6. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 divided by 1 would just be 6. Whoop, so that'd be the answer right there. All right. Let's check out this little story problem here. We got Mary has 2/3 pounds of sunflower seeds. Each day she feeds the cardinals in her yard 1/6 pounds of seeds. For how many days will she be able to feed the cardinals? Okay. So we're trying to find out like how many times does 1/6 fit into 2/3? Well, that means we're going to do 2/3 because that's how many pounds she has. We're dividing it up into groups of 1/6. We're trying to see how many times 1/6 can fit into 2/3. That will tell us how many days she can feed those cardinals. Okay, keep, change, flip. Okay. Keep the 2/3, change the division to multiplication, and flip that fraction. 6 over 1. Can we simplify? Well, 2 and 1, no. 6 and 3, you bet. We can divide them both by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 divided by 1 is 4. Now, just want to clarify this again. If you didn't do cross simplification, it's okay, but you'd wind up with 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3, and you'd have to do 12 divided by 3, which is 4. You get the same answer, but doing it like this kind of simplifies things a little bit, especially in the last step. All right, so it says write a story problem for 3/4 divided by 1/8 in this box. Use a model to solve. We're not gonna use a model here, but let's create a little problem here. We got Steve. has 3/4 pounds of, let's say Skittles. Because you know Steve, he loves Skittles. He loves Skittles. All right. He wants to give each of his friends. So this is what he started with, 3/4 pounds. We're going to divide it into groups of 1/8. So he wants to give each of his friends 1/8 pounds of Skittles. So the question is, how many friends can he give Skittles to? That would be the question. How many friends can he give Skittles to? All right, went into that other box a little bit. So Steve, he's got 3/4 pounds of Skittles. That's what he started with. He's dividing them up into groups of 1/8. So we want to see how many times can he do that? How many times can he divide that 3/4 into groups of 1/8? 1/8. All right, let's find out. Oh, by the way, the previous problem is not just 4, it's 4 days. 4 days. Mary can feed the Cardinals for 4 days. All right, we got 3/4 divided by 1/8. We're going to keep. We're going to change, and you better believe we're going to flip. All right. Keep 3/4. Change the division to multiplication, and we're going to flip that fraction to 8/1. Now, let's look diagonal. 3 and 1, nothing. I feel like we did this one already, and we did. All right, and then 4 and 8. 4 and 8, we can divide by 4. We did do this one. If you look 2 problems above this, there it is. Whoops. I'm sorry. I screwed up while I was thinking about that. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 3 times 2, 6. 1 times 1 is 1. So how many friends can Steve give the Skittles to? It would be 6 friends. And there's sadly no leftover for Steve. So Steve is going to divide those up. He's got just enough for 6 of his friends, but sadly nothing left over. Okay. So now we're gonna kind of move on to something a little different, but really it's the same thing, because when you divide fractions, we're going to keep, change, flip. So what we're going to do now is divide fractions by whole numbers. But again, set these up, solving them is going to be very similar to what we just did. So on the next page. Okay, now this one says use a model. You know what? We're going to use a model. All right. So this one's going to look a little strange, but we got 5/7 divided by 10. So we're going to take 5/7. We're going to divide this up into sevenths. That's what the number we're starting with. So I'm going to need 6 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's 7/7, so we only want 5/7. There's 5/7. Now here's the thing. We want to divide these into 10 equal groups, but we only have 5 things. All right, we only have 5. So what I'm going to do is this. To make 10, because we need 10, we need to divide these into 10 equal groups. We only have 5 things. I'm going to split each one of these sevenths in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so now we don't have sevenths anymore. We have 14ths. Let's see how many 14ths we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is really 10 14ths, which is the same as 5/7. I just multiply the top and bottom by 2. I doubled the number of pieces. Divide by 10. Now we can do this more easily, because if we're taking 10 14ths and dividing them into 10 groups, there's going to be one of these in each group, because we need 10 groups, 4 groups, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the answer is going to be how many in each group? Well, in each group, there is 1 14th. So if you take it, like one example I give is like if you have 10/14 of a candy bar, you don't have a whole thing, you just have just part of one, and you take that part of a candy bar and you divide it amongst 10 people, everyone's going to get just a little tiny amount. So you see, like if this is the candy bar, you've eaten part of it, but if you're going to split that other part with 10 people, not everyone's going to get that much. They're each going to get a 1/14 or just a really small amount. Now, when we do this with an equation, we should get the same answer of 1/14. Let's see. So the nice thing about keep, change, flip is that we don't really have to change the numbers, but instead of writing 10, this is the key thing here. I'm going to start it out as a fraction, 10/1. 10/1, because I want to use fractions. I don't want to leave it as a whole number. I'm going to leave it as a fraction, 10/1, which is the same thing as 10. Now I can keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep the 5 sevens, change the division to multiplication, flip that fraction to 1/10. Now I'm looking diagonal. Is there anything we can do? Well, 7 and 1, no, but 5 and 7, or I'm sorry, 5 and 10, yes. We can divide 5 and 10 by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Let's see what we get. Hopefully we get 1/14. 1 times 1 is 1. This page is again wrinkled. I apologize. It's hard to write. 7 times 2 is 14. Look at that. Same answer. Whoop. Same answer. Again, this is a little bit more efficient than the model because the model, again, like you kind of just split those sevenths in half, whereas here, I mean, it kind of does it for us as you do the equation. So that's kind of nice. All right, so we're going to try some here. If you want to try some of these on your own, that's fine, but I would do the first one here, and then you could try the rest if you want. 8/9 divided by 4. Well, we're going to write 4 as a fraction before we keep, change, flip. 4 as a fraction is going to be 4/1. You can even kind of make it a fraction right there if that works, if that helps you. So we're going to keep, change, flip. Keep that first fraction. Multiply by 1/4. Look diagonally. Well, 8 and 4, as we've seen before in this very video, we can divide each one of them by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. That's it, because you can't do anything with 1 and 9. 2 times 1 is 2. 9 times 1 is 9. There it is. There it is. Okay. So if you want to try this next one on your own, you can. I'm going to do it right here. 4/5 divided by 8. Remember to make that 8. 8/1. So whenever you're dividing fractions, you always want both numbers to be fractions. So if you're doing like a fraction divided by a fraction, you're set. But if you do like a whole number divided by a fraction or a fraction divided by a whole number, you always want to make that whole number a fraction by putting it over 1. So we're going to keep, change, flip. I feel like this one's going to be similar in some ways to the last one, which is no criticism, but it's just going to be kind of similar. We're going to flip that to 1/8. And again, look at 4 and 8 again. We can simplify that by dividing by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay. 1 times 1 is 1. 5 times 2 is 10. 1/10. Not bad. Not bad. All right, we're going to do two more here. So again, you can try these on your own, or you can do it with me. It's up to you. It's up to you. All right, 12/13 divided by 4. I'm going to change that to a little fraction there. 12/13 divided by 4/1. Keep. Whoop, that looks like an R, but it's a K. It's a K. Was trying to be a little too ornamental with that K. All right. 12/13 times 1/4. Let's see. Is there any simplifying? 13 and 1? Nope, absolutely not. 4 and 12, you can divide them both by 4. That's the GCF of 12 and 4. 12 divided by 4 would be 3. 4 divided by 4 would be 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 13 times 1 is 13. Now, I hope you're noticing that because we're simplifying the problem with the multiplication, we're simplifying the multiplication, we don't have to simplify the answer. It's already simplified for us. If we didn't simplify this, we would have gotten 12/56 seconds. And then we have to figure out, like, oh, what can we divide that by? So it's definitely better to do it in the problem before you get to the answer. It's just a lot easier that way. All right, 1/8 divided by 3. 1/8 divided by 3 over 1. 1/8 divided by 3 over 1. 3 wholes. Keep, change, flip. We're going to keep the 1/8. We're going to multiply, and we're going to flip that to 1/3. Oh, this one's so easy. This one's too easy. 1 times 1 is 1. 8 times 3 is 24, and that is it. And that is all. Now, you see a problem below here. This is going to be for the remote assignment. That's all you missed today in class. If you have any questions, let me know. But hopefully this was good practice for us. We're just, again, we're just getting better at the idea of keep, change, flip, and changing our numbers and simplifying our numbers to make the problem easy for us. All right, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.